the new agent orientation session, we will go through some of the various different office policies that you should be familiar with, how we run our office, how can you receive help, support, coordination, training, who to reach out for what purposes, where are our office locations, what facilities and tools are available to us. So basic office policies and general awareness. Simultaneously, then we will go through the new, we will go through your online virtual portal, uh, real estate portal, Wolf Connect. We will give an introductory overview course for this. And Wolf Connect is a exceptional tool that is definitely going to help in your real estate business from the perspective of giving you more authority, autonomy, control, and most definitely help you save time into your day-to-day real estate activities. So it's a full-fledged tool service that we have utilized for our brokers and for our realtors, which we invest in for you, and it is available for you. So we will go through all of those particular trainings today. One aspect that I wanted to elaborate on is that this is not a training purely for those who are brand new agents, realtors in the real estate industry. This is a training for any realtor who is joining, a new agent that is joining Realty Point. So you will most definitely experience, um, uh, basically gain benefits from this particular session. So let's get started. Well, one of the first items that you should note is our locations. We have two locations from Realty Point's perspective of what we offer is two locations. One is the North York locations, which is located at 401 and 404 at the intersection of York Mills and Don Mills, you can say. And the other location is in Mississauga at Square One Mall, right across from it. So these are the two various different locations that is available for you. Each of these locations is equipped with various different facilities and features to help you in your real estate business. For example, each of these facilities is equipped with receptionists to greet and guide your clients, to direct them to you, to help you in your day-to-day tasks. We have each of these facilities has boardrooms, closing rooms for your meetings, computer rooms, workstations. Of course, it's equipped with high-speed internet, faxing capabilities, scanning, printer, copiers, as well as phones to give you a productive working environment. The North York office is located at 240 Duncan Mill Road, Suite 403. The North York office physically is open between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays to Fridays and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. And during these hours, you can enter the premise as need be. If you need to utilize the office space after hours, when these beyond these particular hours, then you can enter the building with the code star 6255. There is a key code in front of the building entrance to be able to enter the building after hours. For the suite to enter 403, there is a lockbox outside of the door, and the lockbox code is 1028. After you enter that, then you will have a key to be able to enter the premise after hours. Should you be entering any of the premises, whether in North York or in Mississauga, and you're the only one there, whether you enter it after hours, on weekends, evenings, or whenever it is, or you're the last person to leave, please make sure to lock up the doors. Of course, if the key is out, put the key back in, make sure the lockbox, the numbers are all jumbled up. It is for, of course, the safety and security of your own office. These are all your own office. So make sure that you take care of it. If there is any light switches, anything else, you can turn those off. Mississauga is located at 33 City Center Drive, Suite 375. This is right beside Square One Mall. This office is open Mondays to Fridays, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And Saturday and Sundays or in the evening, you can access this building, no problem, or the units, but it's with access card only. So after hours, access cards for the building, you can enter, and at the entrance of the unit 375 there is a lockbox, and the code for it is 7653. You can utilize this code to be able to enter the building, enter the unit. Now the access card, to be able to enter the premise after hours, the access card you have to be able to obtain. There, in your welcome email, you should have received instructions on how to get the access card. You do have to go to the adjacent building at 55 City Center Drive during specific hours to the parking section, parking management section. They will take a picture of your they will take your picture, and then they will deliver an access card to the office, which you can then pick up. There is a one-time fee of $17 for the access card, and you need that because, one, to enter the building, and number two, the elevators. Without it, they will not function. So the North York office is located at 240 Duncan Mill Road. Here's the building. I want to share with you in regards to parking, where can you park for these different locations. So for North York, we have, so this is the 240 Duncan Mill building. This is the parking lot around surrounding the building. These parking is pay and display. So if you're parking anywhere over here, you do have to pay and display, and then of course come to the office. They are very strict on it. They have constant monitoring systems. Even 5-10 minutes, unfortunately, they give a ticket. So if you are parking here, please make sure to do pay and display. Otherwise, you'll be taking a risk. We do have some reserved parking spaces available. So if you enter the 220 building here instead of 240, as soon as you enter the 220 building, if you make a right, there's a ramp that goes up to second level parking. You can park anywhere on this ramp. I know it says reserved parking here, but don't worry about that. Anywhere on this ramp, as long as there's a space available, you can park, come to the office, and then you can leave. So this is office in terms of parking space for the North York office. The Mississauga office is located right beside Mississauga Square 1. As you can see, this is the Walmart, and right across from the Walmart is the 33 City Center building. Behind this building, there is ample parking that is available. Up to 2 hours, the parking is for free. If you're planning on staying beyond the 2 hours, there is a flat rate of $5 per day, and then you can park for the entire day. If you wish, of course, alternatively, you can park right here in the parking lot for Square 1, and as a result, then of course, then you can just walk across the road and get to the office. So you have both options available to you. Some basic office rules and responsibilities. I'm not going to read through all of this. This presentation will be emailed to you tomorrow. So feel free to look through these policies. Please do look through these policies as we proceed. We do have a question in regards to repeating the Duncan Mills free parking. Sure, I'll be happy to do that. So here this is the Duncan Mill 240 building. If you enter the 220 building instead, once you enter to your right side, just make a right, and then you'll see a ramp that goes to second level parking. Park anywhere over here, and you can park at any time. As long as, of course, there's space available up here, you can park. Otherwise, the surrounding buildings, the parking spaces surrounding the building is pay and display. You're welcome. So in regards to office, any other questions, by the way, by anyone else before I proceed? Okay, so I'll proceed. If there's any questions, again, feel free to write them down in the chat section. So We have the office policies. Again, I will not go through these in detail. This presentation will be emailed to you. Feel free to review all of these. These office policies are very simple, common sense policies in order to make sure that we have a positive working experience in these offices. So there is a shared kitchen facility at both of the offices. When you are utilizing the shared kitchens, please be courteous to everyone else. If you're utilizing any utensils, any dishes, anything else, please clean up after yourselves. There's garbage bins, every facility is available to you. Make sure that you clean up all those. If there's garbages there, please dispose them appropriately. If there's large, big garbages that you have at the office, dispose them either in the recycling bins at the office. If they cannot fit, then you need to take them to the basement in the big recycling bins accordingly. If you're utilizing the boardrooms, we have sufficient available at both locations. If there is um, if you need a boardroom for a specific time, just do reserve it with the front staff of that particular location. If you know, if you want a guaranteed session. Other than that, as long as the boardrooms are available, you can feel free to utilize them. Of course, once you use them, please make sure that you're courteous in regards to your timing. So if you've booked it for an hour, make sure that you utilize it for an hour. Please do clean up after yourself. Don't leave any bottles, paper, garbage, anything in the boardrooms once you finish, so that the next person utilizing the boardroom can do so freely. We have receptionist services available to you. The receptionists are there to greet and guide for your clients. If you have a meeting, just let them know so that they know that to expect clients for you and what their instructions is, whether they should remain seated at the front and you come and get them to the boardroom, or you want them to directly send them to your boardroom or to your office. So those types of instructions you can provide them. I do also want to point out though, our front staff or receptionists are equipped with multiple different duties, including to be able to answer your phone calls, your offices, and your real estate related phone calls. So they are there to help you in your real estate related matters. However, they will not perform personal secretariat responsibilities like word processing or copy this and do this task for me. Uh, Otherwise, they will fall behind in their work. So they may kindly decline if there is any work that they're not supposed to be doing. Just be aware of that. But nonetheless, they're there to assist you with anything that's there. If you're at the premise, internet goes down, something happens, they're there to help you and assist you. Speaking of internet, we have high-speed internet at both the locations, both LAN as well as Wi-Fi connections, and these are the Wi-Fi passwords and connections at each of the locations, which you can use to sign in. Of course, common sense prohibit uses, there's no, of course, alcohol, drugs of any sorts permitted on the premise. If there's any particular legal business, of course, that's not permitted. Internet is there for you to utilize for your work purposes, however, not to download videos or excessive usage. We will be monitoring the usage of the internet accordingly, and if there is any excessive usage, then the staff will touch base with you. Printing and copying and faxing facilities are available at all the locations, and scanning. Scanning, printing, and faxing, I do want to go over it because a lot of the agents do have questions how to utilize the scan and print machines. The machines are very similar at both of the locations. To scan, you just press the scan button right here, and then under the email tab, you click on manual entry, and then you type the email address of where you want the scans to go. So this will scan directly to your email, and then you just press the start button and you're good to go. Very simple. Faxing is very similar to scanning. We do utilize digital faxing and not regular analog faxing, so it's a little bit of a different process, and these instructions are posted at both the locations, so you don't need to memorize them. However, to fax, it's a very similar process as scanning, so you do press the scan button again. Under the manual entry section, you enter the fax number of where you want the fax to go, and then you follow it with @rcfax.com. And then, of course, you have your faxes, your documents facing up, and then you press the start button. And what happens is that it basically sends the fax digitally to this to your fax number. Do give it some time. Faxes usually take 5 minutes, 10 minutes for the recipients to get it, and then of course confirm with your recipient to make sure that they have received the faxes accordingly as well. Any questions before I proceed any further? Okay, I'm sure that we are good. So one of the very important aspects of Realty Point is your office documentation policies, what documents we need, when do we need it. It is very important for you to note this. We have all of your documentations and all communications in regards to your real estate administration purposes needs to happen with the email address office@realtypoint.ca. So your listing papers, your showings, your instructions, any documents that you need to submit, you will always submit it to office@realtypoint.ca. So please do keep a note of that. Don't send me your listing papers because I wouldn't know what to do with them. Actually, I will know what to do with them, but it's not my area to handle. So do forward them to the right department so that you can be helped in promptly and as soon as possible. All documentation, please be on top of it. It is very important that you submit your documentation as soon as possible or latest within 24 hours. So let's say if you're doing a listing, within 24 hours, we should receive all of your documents. That is the general rule that is that's basically portrayed by RICO and under the REBA rules. The office must have copies of these within 24 hours. However, you need to send them as soon as possible. Why? Because let's say if you do a listing upload on MLS, instantaneously within 15 minutes, we start receiving showing requests. And if we don't have these documents, including your showing instructions, then we will not be able to show your properties properly. So it's important that you send this to us as soon as possible. When you have a listing, what are the documents that you need? Number one, you need a listing agreement. Very common, of course. So you need your appropriate listing agreement to be sent to the office. Along with the listing agreement, we need the MLS data information sheet. So if this listing is going on MLS, then you need to submit an MLS data information form to the office. Unless, of course, it's exclusive, you're not putting it on MLS. Irregardless of whether you're uploading it on MLS or the office has to upload it on MLS for you, irregardless of that, you need to submit these documents in. You need to submit to the office the showing instructions. So with all the contact information and lockbox details, the seller's information, all that information needs to be submitted to the office. You also need the working with realtor form. Along with that, a FINTRAC individual identification information record for for all of your transactions. Now, once the property gets sold, okay, once the documents that you need, either for when your listing gets sold, or if you're representing the buyers in this particular case. The various different forms that we need is, number one, the agreement of purchase and sale. We need the MLS form if you're representing the buyer side, basically the MLS broker form. We need the confirmation of cooperation, offer summary document, which is Form 801. We need the FINTRAC receipt of funds because if you are on the cooperating side, We need the copy of the deposit check and deposit receipt. We need the working with realtor form, buyer representation agreement, mutual release, unfortunately, if the deal fell through, and of course the necessary waivers, notice of fulfillments, amendments, or any other forms accordingly. Now, there's a few forms here that I want to highlight that you should note. From the perspective of, let's start off with in the order. So offer summary document. An offer summary document, Form 801, which was established, I believe, 2 years ago around July time in 2015. This form is utilized for two main purposes, whether you are on the listing side or on the cooperating side, to protect both of those parties, especially in the case of multiple offer situation, and that's the exact reason why this particular form came about. So if you are on the cooperating side, you need to, along with your offer when you're submitting, you have to submit a Form 801. What that does is that it ensures that your offer is presented to the sellers. Sometimes what happens is, because certain agents, they receive multiple offers, let's say they receive 5 offers on a property, um, and they're presenting the offers as they get them, and let's say one offer they're considering, sometimes it's possible that they don't even show your offer, which they're legally bound to, but it can happen, and it did happen, that they didn't show your offers to the sellers because they were already considering one, or they thought that your offer is not good enough and the sellers won't even consider it, so they just completely disregarded it. But that should not happen. So when you submit an offer summary document along with your offer, that guarantees that irregardless of it, they must present this to the sellers. They get signed off on it that this has been presented to it, and you can request a copy of the signed back of the Form 801 to ensure that your offer was indeed submitted to the sellers, and the sellers did or did not consider it. So that's from if you are on the cooperating side. If you're on the listing side, you have another obligation that for every single offer that you receive, you must maintain a copy of the offer summary document. This is especially true, again, in the multiple offer situation. I understand that the market has cooled down a little bit, but regardless of it, this is a mandatory document on the listing side that you must keep for every single offer that you receive. The purpose behind it, again, is to protect you and to protect the buyers from malpractice or misinformation. So let's say if there is, let's say, again, you're representing the cooperating side and you submitted your offer, and when you're registering your offer, you find out that the offer has 5 offers registered on the property, and with yours it's going to be 6 offers in total. Now you can request from the listing agent to say, can I see the offer summary documents for all of those offers that you've received? Alternatively, you can um, deal with Rico and say, I don't know if this guy really has 6 offers. Maybe he's bluffing me. Maybe, it's not really true. Maybe he's doing an unethical practice. I went to the offer presentation. There's only one person there, and he says there's 6 offers. I don't know if he really has 6 offers on hand. Then what happens is Rico then gets in touch with that particular agent, the listing agent, and says, can we have your offer summary documents? And of course, if they don't have the offer summary, then you get in trouble. Then you could be issued depending on the severity of what you did and whether it was intentional or non-intentional, you can get a warning, you can have your license revoked, you can get fines accordingly. So it's very important that you maintain on a listing side the offer summary document. So let's say if you received, in this particular case scenario, you are on the listing side and you received 6 offers, then you need to keep 5 offers plus the accepted offer. So basically, the number of offers minus 1 is the number of offer summary documents that you need to submit to the office. And again, keep in mind that every counter offer is considered a new offer. So let's say you received 6 offers. One of the offers you countered back, and they countered back. That every counter means it's a new offer. So for each counter offer, there needs to be either a new offer summary document or that counter needs to be reflected on the Form 801. The FinTrack documents are also very important. FinTrack documents are in relations to, of course, the terrorism and terrorism and money laundering issues, and it's a federal government FinTrack that handles all of these. Um, it is very important. We have very strict FinTrack policy procedures that we must and need to maintain. And we will be, by the way, having some FinTrack trainings coming up. There has been certain changes in FinTrack that are going to be implemented by the end of June. There are new forms, there are new ways to do things, and you all need to be trained in regards to what are our office policies and procedures in regards to FinTrack, and what is your responsibilities, what is the brokerage's responsibilities in regards to FinTrack, and how can we maintain and track to make sure that we, SNU and the brokerage together, do not fall into a trap of whether it's terrorism or money laundering situation. So how do we notice those? How do we assess risk levels for the clients? Who do I report to, and when do I need to report? And what forms do I need, and and how to fill out each of those forms? So that training will be given to you at a later date. However, the two forms that are commonly very important is the one, the FinTrack ID form. The FinTrack individual identification form is required whether you are on the listing side or on the selling side. So in all situations, you need to have that filled out for your clients. And if and the FinTrack receipt of funds, you need to have that form when you're on the cooperating side, meaning when you're representing the buyers, you need to have that form filled out. Once the buyers deposit, once the buyer's offer is accepted and they have given their deposit to the other brokerage. So you need to fill all this particular information out and submit it along with your deals. Deposit checks, please note that our policy is that there is no personal checks are accepted. So the deposit checks must be either in the form of a bank draft, money order, or certified check. So no personal checks are accepted for a very simple reason that there's no guarantee and they can very easily bounce off. So, and we've had many situations in the past where we did make exceptions and they have 90% of the time they've bounced. So that's a very strict policy. Please make sure to let if you are on the listing side, to let on your, for example, listing, under brokerage remarks, make sure to put down 3 items. Number 1, they must sign the Schedule B for the office and submit it along with the offer. They must give a certified or bank draft for a deposit check, and that they must submit a offer summary document Form 801. Buyer representation agreement. This is not a mandatory. It's not mandatory from our brokerage's perspective that you must have a buyer representation agreement with your clients, i.e. that they must be your clients, otherwise you should not work with them. We highly encourage that you must have, or that you should have, a buyer representation agreement with your clients and with your customers. It will protect you in a case of multiple representation, in a sense that if they're working with any other realtor, or if they decide that they're your clients but they purchase a property, so your commissions can be protected. If they're your customers, unfortunately there's nothing that can be done in that particular regards. So we highly encourage that you do a buyer representation agreement with your clients. Having said that, the buyer representation document though is mandatory. What that means is that as per REBA and RICO rules, you must provide the various different options to your customers of what type of relationships that they can have with you as a realtor, i.e. they can have a customer service relationship with you, or they can have a buyer representation agreement with you. Now so you must provide them with the buyer representation agreement. Now they can reject signing it, that's totally fine. Then you will just write down that the buyers have rejected signing this, and you submit it to the office for the office purposes. Another thing that common mistake that people make um, is that, or common mistake that agents make, is that while filling out the confirmation of cooperation, if you're, let's say if you're representing the buyers and you're on the cooperating side, while you're filling out the confirmation of cooperation, there's a section there where you check mark what type of relationship do you have with the buyers. If you say that your relationship is that of a client relationship, then you must have a buyer representation agreement. You can't have that section checked off. Some people just check off this, that they're your clients and you're representing them. No, if they're not your clients, you don't have a BRA signed with them, don't check that section off. Just say that you're providing customer service agreement with them, or you're just providing some service. There's three options there. But if you do mark that they are your clients, then you must have a BRA. That becomes a mandatory field for you. Mutual releases, of course, and then waivers and whatnot. So those are certain areas that I wanted to highlight for you to note while you are conducting your real estate. Again, you must provide everything to the office within 24 hours, especially transactions. We must have it within 24 hours, because let's say if we receive a deposit check and we have nothing to associate it with, no transaction paper documents, then that's in trouble. Likewise, if we have your transaction documents, but we don't receive the deposit check within 24 hours, we have to coordinate, otherwise your deal can become in jeopardy. So do provide those documents at your earliest as well. Now, once the deal does go firm, we need to receive the lawyer's information for both parties. For the coordination of follow-ups and making sure that the deal closes in due time and in due process. Once the invoices and everything has been done, you will also, our office, we will create the trade record sheet for you. You do not have to create it. I know that many agents out there in other offices, they make them create their own trade record sheets and then the office signs off on it. No, the office will create the trade record sheets for you. You, however, do need to review it and make sure that everything on that trade record sheet is correct, and then you sign it. We have the best tools, the technologies, the best softwares, and the best personnel working on these. However, technical error can happen, human error can happen, so please make sure to review, make sure that all the commissions, the splits, everything is 100% okay for this particular transaction of yours, and then sign off on it and submit it to the office. And of course, once we receive the checks and whatnot from the lawyers or from the other parties, then we will make out the payments to you. So before I proceed any further, does anyone have any questions in regards to the documents, the documentation and the documents, or how to go about doing anything? Does anyone have any questions before I move further? I'm assuming all these blank forms we can pick up from the office. Okay, so we don't keep blank copies, paper copies of the forms. We are a paperless solution. We try our best to be as much as paperless. So we don't print out the copies. We encourage you to utilize soft copies. And then if you need to print them out, we have computer rooms, everything available to you. You can always print out copies for yourself to do it. Majority of our agents that we have, they coordinate that themselves, i.e. they have soft copies and then they have deal tap and DocuSign and things like that, so that they can coordinate. But if you still do it manually and whatnot, you can come to the office, and if you're at the office and you need physical copies, you can always print them out for you. Okay. Any other questions before we proceed? Okay, so we'll move on. Any questions? Again, feel free to write them down. Okay. All right, so one of the most important questions that probably everyone has is, when am I going to receive my commissions? Your commissions, there are certain policies. I need to make sure that you understand these. It is very important so that you have proper expectations and you know what your roles and responsibility is in regards to making sure that you receive your commission payments in due time. So there's a couple of 3 conditions, first and foremost, that needs to be met before your payments are issued. 3 conditions. Number 1, first and foremost, the office must have all of the documents in relations to that particular transaction and or listing before we pay out your commissions. So if you don't have all of the necessary file documents, if it's not complete, you don't get your commissions paid. It's very simple and clear cut in that regard. So that's condition number 1. So if you are missing an agreement of purchase and sale, we're sorry, we can't process your commissions for you. You need to provide us the necessary documents so that we can go ahead and close your transactions to begin with. And of course, please don't leave it for the last minute to submit all your documents. It's going to give you undue headaches, give our staff undue headaches. Submit your documents in a timely fashion so that there's no delays on your side, on our side in terms of processing your commission. So condition number 1, you must have all of your documents, required documents. Condition number 2, we must have your trade record sheet signed. Condition number 3, we must have received the funds. Of course, the deal has closed. That's the condition number 3, that the deal has closed, and that we've received the funding from the lawyers or other parties, or that we have sufficient funding to pay out your commission. So let's say your deal has closed, you're representing the buyer side, we haven't received the commission check from the from the listing brokerage, then we cannot pay out your commissions. So these 3 conditions, first and foremost, needs to be met before your commissions are paid out. When do you get your commissions? Your commissions get paid every Wednesday. So every Wednesday in your bank account, they're, by the way, direct deposited. So if you have not provided your direct deposit information when you signed up with our brokerages, then make sure that you do. That way, there's no unnecessary delays. You don't have to come to the office to pick up your check and whatnot. It can be directly deposited into your bank account. So every Wednesday, your commissions are deposited directly into your bank accounts. Now, however, for that Wednesday commission, there is a processing period, and the cutoff for the conditions number 1, 2, and 3 to be met is Friday, 3 p.m. So let's say Friday 3 p.m. is the cutoff period that represents that number 1, we have received all of your documents, including your trade record sheets. Number 2, the transaction has actually closed, and number 3, that we've received the funds for the transactions to make the payments for you. Yes. Mindy's asking, can we repeat the 3 conditions? Yes. Number 1, we must have all of your documents in relation to the transaction, i.e., we must have all your agreement of purchase and sale, whatever documents that's required, along with your trade record sheets signed. Number 2, the deal has to close before we can pay out, and we've received the confirmation from the lawyer saying that this transaction has closed and that we need you can go ahead, disperse the funds. And number 3, we need to have actually received the funds or have sufficient funds in our possession if you're on the listing side as a deposit so that we can do the payments in due time. So those 3 conditions. So these 3 conditions need to be met by the cutoff period of Friday 3 p.m. so that the following Wednesday you have your commissions in your bank account. Let me give you guys an example, hopefully to illustrate this. So let's say it's a Thursday, and we have met all these 3 conditions. You have met all of these 3 conditions, i.e., your transaction has successfully closed, we have all of your documents, and we have received the funds on Thursday. Well, then the next Wednesday you will get your commissions. Why? Because on Thursday is before the cutoff of Friday, 3 p.m., and as a result, your payments will be processed, and you will receive it on Wednesday. In your bank account, you will receive it. So the processing time is 4 business days. So Thursday the transaction closes, then okay, so Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 business days, you will have your commissions in your bank account. The worst case scenario, or like is, let's say for example, we receive the documents, your transaction closed, and we receive the funds by Monday. Okay, so because you missed the cutoff period of Friday, then you will not get paid this Wednesday, meaning in 2 days, you'll get paid the following Wednesday. Okay, so this processing time is maximum 7 business days. So let's say, so Monday the transaction closes, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's seven business days. Now, in case if there is statutory holidays, so let's say Monday is closed or Friday is closed, then the office is closed for statutory holidays, then your payment is delayed by 1 day. So if it was coming in on Wednesday, then it gets processed into your bank account by Thursday because the banks are not open on the statutory holidays, and as a result, they take a 1 extra day to be able to process your payments accordingly. Okay, any questions in this regards? Okay, I hope that was clear. Moving on. Okay, so Realty Point has various different training programs from the franchisor perspective, and we cover various different topics within our trainings, from prospecting, marketing, sales, real estate related, basics, agent, pre-construction trainings, various different throughout various different times. For example, on Thursdays from Thursdays at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We have sort of any particular. Oops. Welcome, Cindy. So at any particular, you can ask any question. So it's a general Q&A question. Any question you have in relation to real estate, you can ask. This session is usually conducted by Tariq Momtaz. And as a result, you can ask any of your particular questions accordingly. Where do you find the calendar for this? This will be on your Wolf Connect module, and I will share that with you where the various different sessions are, and hence how you can potentially join those training sessions. Okay, so office staff and support. Let me open up another document because I think that one is more updated. Give me 1 second. Okay. So one of the main and important areas is that how do you receive support in relations to real estate, personal, and various different aspects of it. So this is also emailed to you already it should be in your welcome email that you can access it. And in case if it's not, you will receive it tomorrow once we send you the other information. So as you note, Realty Point is expanding quite tremendously, and we have various different departments to take care of various different areas of your work. You must have come in contact in some or many of these different areas already. If not, then these are the various different areas and departments that can help you. So you need to refer to those departments directly. For example, if you call me in regards to your commissions, I would kindly decline because I wouldn't know anything about the status of your commissions. You would need to reach out to the deals department. Likewise, if you call the deals department and say, what's going on with my RICO renewal, they'll say, well, I'm sorry, but let me forward you to the onboarding department, which then takes care of all of this particular information. So there's various different departments. The first page of this particular, you will notice, is like a quick reference guide. I would highly encourage that you save these different phone numbers as well as the email addresses in your phone so that you can easily and directly access these departments directly. So you don't have to call your office and then press 1 and then remain on hold and then be transferred over. If you want to avoid all that, there's direct numbers for each of the departments and you can contact them directly. So this would be a good reference for you. We have direct numbers for North York office if you need to reach the North York reception or if you need to reach the Mississauga reception. If you, okay, so what are the various different departments and what are they responsible for? So the real estate administrators or the real estate administration department is responsible for your listings, your broker loading, your paperwork and forms, appointments, showings, confirmations, status changes, deposits, basically anything from the start of a listing process all the way until the deal becomes firm. This department is responsible for, and they can help you and assist you. Again, all the forms, documents, everything you're going to submit to them at office@realtypoint.ca. This department is open Mondays to Fridays 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturdays, Sundays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So they'll be at your service between these particular hours. There's various different individuals in this particular department. Some individuals have changed. We've hired quite a lot more people. Actually, this is a little bit outdated. We will update this and send you the most updated copy of this. The deals department is responsible from the moment that your deals goes firms all the way until you get your commissions. And actually beyond that, so your T4s, everything, your trade record sheets, commission checks, commission statements, billings, and invoicing, everything is done by this particular department. Again, for this particular department, you can reach them at deals@realtypoint.ca, and this is their direct phone number. Please do note that this department is only open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you call after hours, you feel free to leave them a voicemail, and then they'll be happy to get back to you the next day. This department, actually let me share with you, the previous department, the Real Estate Administration Department, is led by Nicole Liao. She is the department head for that. For the Deals Department, it is Sarah Oiwak, but of course there's Jenny, Stacy, and Sadia, and Asad there to help assist you in any particular matters in relation to your deals. The franchising and onboarding department is probably what you have already dealt with. This department's responsibility is to help integrate you from once you join from one of our brokerages all the way until you're ready to start practicing in real estate. This department takes care of all of those. So RICO, TRAP paperwork and follow-up, reinstatements, renewals, integration with Realty Point systems. If there's any RICO, TRAP, FinTrack complaints and paperwork that's required, then this department helps out as well. This department, again, is only open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And outside these hours, again, you can call back, leave them a voicemail, and then they'll be able to assist. There is, this department is led by Tanya. Tanya Granados. She is the onboarding manager. You can always reach out to her. Along with her, she has actually quite a few other staff. So she has Judy, she has Christy, she has Claudia, and quite a few other staff to help and assist in these particular departments accordingly. For real estate inquiries, questions in relation to real estate, you can always, of course, reach out to your broker of record. On top of that, we are available to assist you if you have any questions in relations on your conducting your real estate related matters. So for the main person for that is Tariq Momtaz. He is available to you. If you, additionally, of course, I am also available. If you need any help, assistance, or some guidance on what form to use and whatnot, I can always be of assistance in that regards. Of course, I personally don't know everything about real estate, but as much as I know, I can either help or I can find the answers for you. So at any point, you are feel free to give us a call and we'll be happy to assist you. The marketing department is responsible for websites, Lone Wolf websites, social media, search engine optimization, customer relationship management, any marketing planning and various different communications. If you need any assistance in those regards, you can always reach out to the marketing department. The marketing department is also the ones that put together and repackage PIC construction related information, and they page out all that information to you guys as well. So this will be the department to reach out in that particular regards. In this department is led by Amir. There's Imran that works in this department, as well as Kimi, and they are all part of this particular department. The pre-construction sales department, email is sales@realtypoint.ca, and we have the phone number as well. And anything, this department is responsible to facilitate your sales signing, unit availability information, sales procedures, all that is done by this particular department. For any information in relation to pre-construction information, you can always reach out to any of these particular staff accordingly. Now, all of these particular staff are available to you. They're very equipped in each of these departments to help you and assist you with whatever you need. Please refer to them, to each of these departments, respective departments for your respective related work. If this particular department is stumped at any particular case and time, they will always refer to me, and they will request from me in relations to what I'll give them a few suggestions in order to help and solve any particular issues or questions or anything that they may have. Likewise, if any of these departments are not able to assist you in the way that you want them to assist you, or they can't resolve a particular problem that or challenge that may be there, you can always reach out to me. I'm available at all times, and my contact information is available here, and at any given time, and I'll be happy to assist. So for suggestions, if you have complaints, if there's any conflict resolutions, if you need any liaison, who to reach out for what purpose, just reach out to me and I'd be happy to assist. So that's in regards to how you can receive support and help from the Realty Point team. Do you guys have any? Does anyone have any questions in this regards? Okay, I'm assuming that we are good. I'm assuming that no one has any questions. Okay, so let's move on. This basically concludes our first part of the presentation. I'm hoping that this was informative and that you picked up, sort of became familiar with our systems and how we operate, and hopefully you can utilize us to help you in your real estate related day-to-day matters. So the next part of the training is the Wolf Connect training. Let me load that up. Let me log out so that you can see it. Okay. So what is Wolf Connect? Wolf Connect is a online virtual portal in relations to your real estate that will help you to that will give you more control, autonomy, and power in your real estate related matters. It is quite comprehensive in from various different perspectives, from your real estate perspective, from your day-to-day management of your business, from websites, from customer service relationship management, from various different aspects. And you can utilize it to help you to make your day-to-day jobs quite a lot easier. So today I'll be going over this and giving you a quick review or overview of it. I'm hoping that I can finish this in the next 25 minutes or so, and then I will open the floor for any final questions, and then we will end the session at that particular moment. Now, first and foremost, how do you get your account activated? I do have, I believe, everyone's name here. So by next day afternoon time, your Wolf Connect accounts will be activated by our staff. Once the accounts are activated, you will receive an email from Wolf Connect asking you to create a password for your account that's activated. It will give you your username, and it will direct you to a page such as this one, where you will put down your username and you will put down your password. You'll create basically your password. Once you create your password, it will redirect you to a page like this so that you can log in. one of the first things that I would recommend for you to do is to bookmark this page for yourself, like so. Once bookmarked, what can happen is you can easily always find it. So if you notice, it's already there in my bookmarks and I can easily refer to this page. The reason why you should bookmark it is that this particular page or link is quite difficult to remember and or to type. So it is, to bookmarking it is very easy. Alternatively, if you forget to bookmark it, you can always go to realtypoint.ca, and at the top there's an agent login section. Agent login session, you can always click on that, and that will bring you to the agent login section, which you can log in. So once you have your username and password, you can log in. In case if you lose your password, or if you wanted to reset your password for whatever reason, you want to change your password, you can do so from this screen as well. You don't need to contact anyone. You can just follow the steps accordingly and create new passwords or reset your passwords accordingly. So let's log in. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so this is how your real estate module looks like. Actually, let me log in one more time. Okay, so this is how your real estate module will look like. As you can see, first and foremost, on the front page, there is going to be some modules here. In these modules, it will have certain features and certain information onto here. Up at the top, there's going to be a navigation bar, which takes you to different sections of this particular software. Within each of those sections, let's say on the real estate, then there's a listing module, showings module, transaction module, and the loading docs module. Another section that I would like you to notice is your personal profile. If you can see here under the gear icon, or rather if you click on the gear icon, it will take you to a personal section. Here, go to these various different tabs. We will not go through this in detail today, but go through these different tabs in detail and fill it up with as much information about yourself as possible. That will help to promote you as well. One of the main things that you should do is put up your picture here as well. So if you click on edit, you can upload your picture here. So the main section that we will go through today is the real estate section. In this particular section is the main section that you will use on a day-by-day basis. So I want to go through here and then I will leave you at that because I don't want to confuse you in any shape or form. This is probably one of the most important areas that you need to refer to quite often as well. Okay. So how does the real estate section work? Well, first and foremost, let's start off from the process of, let's say you have a listing. There's two ways of uploading your listings on MLS. Number one, either you can upload the listing yourself, or number two, you can provide the listing to the office, the listing documents and paperwork, and the office will upload the listing for you. Once the office uploads the listing for you, they already know the processes in regards to what they need to take in order to set up your showings, everything else, so that can be your listing can be shown properly right away. In case if you upload your listing on MLS, which is totally fine as well, and we do give you authority to be able to do that, you need to submit to the office, again at office@realtypoint.ca, all of your documents as I mentioned previously, as soon as possible so that we can set it up for you. Once we have set up your listings into the system, this system is connected to the Toronto Real Estate Board, and once we have a listing on MLS, that listing we will sync, or it will sync automatically into the system, and you can find the details of your listings all throughout here. So let's take an example, and let's say we have had the listings. Let's say how we can handle it. So if I click on under listings, if you click on manage, then you can search for all of your, or any listings, okay? So let's say I had a listing Rosebank. I know this one exists because this one we've dealt with a while back. So let's say this was your listing called Rosebank. So once you search it, okay, once you click on your listings, it will take you to your listings page. In each of those listings page, you will notice various different sections that you can utilize to be able to control and manage your listing. I will go over only the important sections in this particular tab. One of the first main sections that you should note is the People's tab. In this particular tab, you will find information in regards to the agents that are working on this particular property. So if this is your listing, so it will show your name on here. And if there's any co-agents working on this particular listing, then that information for that agent will be listed here as well. Under the sellers and tenants info, once you provide the sellers and or tenants information, that information gets populated over here by our staff. And what that does is that you can then send notifications, showings, or contact information for confirmation purposes to sellers and or tenants. Another tab that you should note is the showing setups tab. In this tab is where we set up all of your showing instructions. You need to provide to us information in regards to your showings, such as your lockbox information, if there is any, and what the lockbox code is. If there's any key codes, who is it occupied by, vacant, tenant, owner. If there's any feature sheets, you can submit it to the office and this will be uploaded for you. And what happens is once there's a confirmation sent out to the showing agents, then the feature sheet automatically gets emailed to them as well. Our showing instructions for the office, showing instructions for the agents, of course, Kia concierge, Shorico business card, all usuals, turn off lights, dog on premises, whatever. So make sure to submit all that information for us. The timings that we can do the showings for you. If there's any notifications required for that showing, does the sellers or the tenants need to receive any notifications when there is a new showing, when there's a confirmed showing, whether the showing has been canceled, if a feedback has been received or changed, you need to specify how the setup needs to be. And whether you would like the sellers or the tenants to receive email messages or text messages or both. And whether the sellers or tenants need to confirm with us and so on and so forth. So this is the showing setup tab. You have access to be able to see and observe all of these showings, how your showings has been set up. So you can always log in, go to your listing, click on showing setup and see how your showings are being handled. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to the real estate administrators and they'll be happy to assist you. If you want to modify any of your showing instructions, please do send an email to office@realtypoint.ca. We must receive an email confirmation before we make any particular changes to your showing instructions. The next tab is the showings activity tab. This is one of the most important tabs for you. It is going to help you quite a lot and actually save you quite a lot of time. So if I can get your attention in this particular area, I'm sure that you will find this particular section quite beneficial. This particular section gives you a breakdown of all of the various different showings that has occurred on this particular property. So these are all the various different sections. As you can see, there's 2 pages of showings that has occurred on this property. And I can then click on any of these particular showings and it will give me detailed information about that showing and how that showing has been handled. So it provides to me the showing information, including the agent's information, the showing agents, the showing date and time, what's the status, is it unconfirmed, is it confirmed, and whether we would like to reschedule or cancel the showing, along with call notes. So this showing was booked on August 24th of 2016 at 1:28 p.m. It was put in. It was a buyer's last visit by Nicole, our staff, and by 2 p.m., 1:59 p.m. of the same day, it was contacted and confirmed. by our staff. So it will give you information in this regards. If you receive feedback in relations to your particular property, um, then like over the phone or in person, then you can always come here and enter that feedback that you received for organizational purposes and for keeping track of the feedback that you received. And here will be all the feedback logs that this person has provided you in the past. Do keep in mind that automatic feedback requests are sent to the um, showing agents once, I believe, an hour or 2 hours. It's configurable after each showing, and as a result, then if they reply back to that showing and they provide their feedback, then that feedback appears over here. Where does all this become useful is that it can generate some reports for you. So if you notice an agent view, if you click on that and click on view/print, what will happen is that it will print out a report of all the showings that has occurred on this particular property. So what this is showing for you here is the date and time of the showing, the agent who has shown, their email address, their office phone number, and if there's mobile phones that has been collected for that, the whether the status of the showings, whether they were confirmed, unconfirmed, and the showing type. Is it an inspection? Is it a showing? Is it a appraisal? So all that is entered here into the system. So this is very useful for you if you ever need to follow up or do any particular task for yourself. A very similar type of a report is also generatable for the sellers themselves. So you can generate this, and as you can see, it has basically the same information minus the showing agent's information so that your sellers cannot contact them. So it shows them the date and time of the showings that has occurred on their property, and then the status and the showing types, and whether the manual feedbacks or the automatic feedbacks that has been received. So this is something neat which you can, print out, take it to your sellers, let's say um, doing a offer presentation date, and share with your sellers that here's all the showings that has occurred on your property, here's the feedbacks that we've received, here's all the offers that we've received, and here's my recommendation to you. So it gives you a very professional image and look when you print out, very organized, and it builds up your reputation in front of your clients when you utilize documents such as these. So that's available to you. Another very important area is the send notification button. So this is going to save you a lot of time. So remember, there are certain obligations that you have as an agent that you need to perform when you have a listing. For example, when you have offers registered on your property, you need to notify the showing agents. If there is you're changing or maneuvering the offer presentation dates, you need to notify. Anything basically that happens that needs, like, all the showing agents, all the interested parties in this particular property must have a fair opportunity. So there are certain obligations that you have as an agent to communicate various different information to the showing agents. In the past, or maybe the way you're used to, is to see who has shown your property, seen your property, and then you have to physically call every single one of them and notify them of any particular changes. Well, now you don't have to, where with a couple of click of a button, you can send them an email message and your obligations are completed. Likewise, you may need to utilize this for, let's say, they have provided feedback and you need to communicate some kind of information to them. You can do so here as well. So let's say they say, well, the feedback is that carpet needs to be changed. And now that you've talked to your sellers, you've provided them with the feedback, they say, okay, let's do laminate. They have done the laminations. Now you want to send an email to all of the agents saying to reconsider this property because you've made the requested changes that basically the changes that they requested or the improvements that they requested. So to be able to communicate with the agents, how do you do that? You need to click on send notification button, and then you click on the quick message. Once you click on it, a new window will pop up. Okay, make sure to click on business contacts. Don't forget this. If you don't click this, nothing will happen. So click on the business contacts. Once you click on business contact, let's say associates, you'll see nothing. And then when you click on business contacts, you'll notice that all of the brokerages, sorry, all of the showing agents gets listed over here. You can quickly type your message, whatever your message is, 9 registered offers, so on and so forth. You click on send, and all of these agents will receive those particular messages. So a very neat tool to give you a lot of authority in your real estate and save you quite a lot of time. In case if you don't want to communicate to all of the agents and only some of the agents, just pick whichever agents that you don't want to communicate to, click on this arrow, and it will remove them from this list, and it will only send a page to those agents that you do want to communicate. Okay, so that is this particular section. Any questions before I move on? Okay, I'm assuming that we're good. Now, the next section that I would like to go over is the documents and tasks. Okay, so your documents, when you provide the office with all of your documents, all of those documents gets uploaded into the system. All of those documents gets uploaded into the system over here. Okay. So now, you will notice that here are two documents that are into the system. So there is the listing agreement and there's the MLS data information form. One thing that I would like you to note is that you see this jelly bean is marked as green. Green means that the document is complete, i.e. that you have provided the document for this particular property and it is within this particular system. And it has been checked, reviewed, and everything is good with it. It's accepted. There are other legends here for you as well. If you see that this is white, that means there's no file that has been submitted into this particular document requirement. If you see it's red, that means it's overdue, i.e. there's a certain document that you must have needed to provide by a certain date and you did not provide it, and it is red and it's overdue. When it is overdue, you do receive a daily email notifications letting you know that your documents are overdue, and as a result, you need to provide those documents. Please pay attention to those documents as they are very important, and that you submit them in a timely fashion. If we do not get any response from you, we do have staff who will send you emails, who will call you for those documents to make sure that we do have them in a timely fashion. And if if let's say you've provided a document and what happens is that that document gets uploaded here and then it will get reviewed by our real estate administrator. So if it is not reviewed yet, then it will be marked as yellow, that it's not yet reviewed. And what happens is our real estate administrators goes through every single document that you provide. They quickly check it, browse through it, make sure that it is completed properly, make sure that make sure that any of the important sections is not missing, initials are there, signatures are there, so on and so forth. And once they observe everything and they see that everything is good, then they will mark it complete and the color will change to green. If they see that there's something wrong with it or there's something is missing, for example, initials missing on the third page, then they will mark it incomplete and the color will change to orange, and you will receive an email notification saying that this document was rejected and the reasons why the document was rejected. So for example, initial missing on third page, then that means you have additional steps to take, i.e. get those initials and then submit a completed document to the office so that your files are all complete. So this section is very important to make sure that, and you can always, by the way, all of your listings and transactions are available to you, and you can come and find and touch base with all of those files for your listings and transactions here in the system. And these files will be kept here for you for a very long period of time. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So far what we talked about is the listing side of it. Once you have sold your listing, or you're representing the buyers, or if you're receiving referrals, You do, excuse me, you do, that's called a transaction, and those files can be found here under the Manage section. Actually, let me open up the other one. So you do find that under the Manage section. So under Transactions, you find under Manage. And here you will get to see all of the various different transactions that you have conducted, and you can always refer to them. So once you submit all of your documents to the office uploads it for you, and you have a good track record of all of your transactions. Everything is kept here nice, neat, and organized for you that you can always refer to. So as you can see, I do quite a lot of transactions. 1 Test Avenue, 750 Fake Street. So I have a lot of 3 pages of fake transactions. Okay, so jokes aside, let's do, let me show you one of the transactions. So it will, when you click on it, then it will show you your transactional details. It will show you your commission information on here. It will show your conditions and whether the conditions have been met or not. It will show the seller and buyer information that you've provided, the lawyer's information, and the outside brokers and their referrals and how much commissions that they're earning. So all that information will be filled out for you by the staff, and you can always refer to it. And likewise, you can refer to your documents and tasks accordingly as well from this particular section. As you can see, these documents are marked as red, which means that they are overdue. I have not submitted my documents in a timely fashion. As a result, they're marked red, and I receive overdue document notifications because of it. Okay. One last section that I will share with you, and then I will leave you off, is the loading docs section. Loading docs refers to your document management system. I would highly recommend that perhaps once a day, depending on how busy you are, once a day, once a week, once in a while, to come and visit this particular section under your loading docs and click on manage. What this does is that it gives you an overview of all of your listings, your transactions, and in relation to your documents, whether you have submitted all of your documents, if there's anything pending, if there's any work that needs to be done, if there's anything incomplete, so that you can take the necessary actions accordingly, and you know for a fact that you have completed your responsibility and you have provided to the office all the necessary documents, and that all your files and whatnot are complete, so that tomorrow when RICO comes, you don't get under any particular trouble and say, well, where's this particular person's documents, and for them to reprimand you, so on and so forth. So make sure that, excuse me, make sure that you meet those particular requirements. So how can this help you? If you notice here, you can either search by specific listing or transaction. You can search by listing or transactions, and you can just put it under all and then do listings or all transactions. Here, it's showing you, this is a filter system, so it's showing you all of your documents, whether it's complete or not. I usually like to uncheck complete, meaning it will only show me documents or transactions or listings that either have no file, are overdue, are incomplete, or are not yet approved. What that means is when you do that, ideally you should not see anything here. If you do see something, that means you have to do something. So for example, if you notice here for this particular listing that I have one document, it's showing me that I have no file, and I have one document that is overdue. So if I click on this arrow, it will then show me what are the documents that I'm missing. And I can then quickly submit those documents to the office so that it can be taken care of, right? Or alternatively, I can also click on the particular listing, and it will take me to that actual listing and under the document section of that listing, and I can oversee it as well. So this gives you a holistic overview of what is pending for you, and then you can quickly take a look and say, oh, well, I have this particular document that the office is missing for one reason or the other. Then you need to submit that to the office. So visit this particular section from time to time so that you know that you have met your obligations as a realtor and with the particular office. So this was a quick overview of Wolf Connect module from the real estate perspectives. It has quite a lot of other features that are available with it. We have various different other training sessions that are assigned for those particular sessions that you can always join. However, for today we will end it over here because I don't want to overwhelm you. Do you guys have any questions? Excuse me. Mindy, thank you. Looking forward to receiving the email so I can start using Wolfgang soon. Thanks. You're welcome very much. I'm hoping that everyone else enjoyed the presentation as well. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. Hopefully you guys were able to take something out of it, and that hopefully it will be able to assist you in launching your real estate to the next level. Any further questions before we end the session? Ajit is asking if there's any particular brand new training session for sales and marketings that are coming up. So for marketing, we have customer relationship management training as well as a website training that you can attend. It's conducted on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Again, it's a webinar, so you can just join the same link that you just joined today. So it's conducted every Thursdays at 7 p.m. You can always join those. And then you have, for sales training, we have pre-construction sales training seminars once every month that those occur, and then once every couple months a very major training session. So be on the lookout for those. I believe the training session for this month has already passed, so be on the lookout for those. You will receive emails in that particular regards. So hopefully those will be helpful to you, and we will be having additional trainings with various different speakers and whatnot set up for you in the very near future. Yes, you do. Mindy is asking, do we need to register ahead of those time? Ideally, yes, and let me show you where this is. However, one thing I noticed, I was playing around with the system and I may have disappeared. Or rather, let me go back here. Okay, so under your Wolf Connect module, if you notice over here, there is a office events section. Under the office events section, then there is all these training sessions. So you can just register for it through your Wolf Connect module, and or you can email sandy.realtypoint@gmail.com, and she will be able to register you into any of those particular sessions as well. So as you can see, these are some of the various upcoming trainings that are in queue. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? If there is no other questions, okay, let's see one other one. So we're getting soft copy email tomorrow with all of this information. Yes, that is correct. You will receive a soft copy of the presentation that I did, as well as the support document if you have not already received it, and your Wolf Connect modules will be activated tomorrow by afternoon time for you as well. Okay, great. Any other questions before we wrap up? I think that should be it. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope, again, the session was informative too. If you guys have any questions, feel free to give me a call. You'll have my direct line. Feel free to send me an email, mahmoud@realtypoint.ca, and I'll be happy to assist accordingly. I wish you guys best of luck in your real estate careers, and have a good evening. Take care.